I thoroughly enjoyed the surgery rotations I had during the medical school. And at that time, I was inclined to believe that a career in surgery would be the right path for me. So I took any opportunity I had to be in the operating room to see the technique. I also took the opportunity that I had, to the extent that I was allowed to do this as a student, to interact with the patients in the surgery clinic. During that time, it was quite often that I came in contact with adults with type 1 or type 2 diabetes who were in the surgery clinic because they had toe amputations due to as a complication of their diabetes. I was moved by their suffering, and I wanted to learn more about type 2 diabetes and what is its connection with peripheral neuropathy. So I started studying more. I became more interested, and I could honestly say that I was starting to fall in love with this terrible disease. And before I knew it, I was hooked. The topic of my graduation thesis for medical school was related to peripheral diabetic neuropathy, and ever since then the focus of my research interest has been on type 2 diabetes. My interest in type 2 diabetes has also a more personal side, as my mother has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes a couple of years ago, and this whole personal experience actually has an impact on my research interest, because I have now, due to this experience, I have now a better understanding of the burden of the disease on the people who are affected by it. I also understand better the role of education in the management of the disease, and I understand the supportive role of the family and of the friends of the people who are affected by the disease. My story has this personal story has a silver lining, because I'm very proud of how my mother handled this, how she really cared about the advice of her primary care provider, on how she allowed us to participate, to support her during this period. She did a great job. She was slightly overweight and lost a couple of pounds. She's more careful with the way with her diet, and she exercises more. I cannot tell how happy I was a couple of weeks ago when she told me about the results of her lab work, and she mentioned that without using glucose lowering drugs, she was able to lower her glucose level to normal levels. I think I benefit a lot from having the clinical background, because it really helps me understand, and being in the clinic and seeing the suffering of the patients, that's such a strong motivator, because, you know, beyond statistics, which are just numbers, it's important to see that each of those 25 million are people who suffer, and that they are somebody's mother or somebody's spouse or somebody's teacher or neighbor, and there is a lot of suffering, and that's a strong motivator to keep going.